Hey, what's up, Forum? It's Gorilla Hands, and I'm bringing you another gameplay commentary. Today it's a game of Domination on Jungle. And Jungle is a map that I kind of have mixed feelings about. It's definitely great for air support. It's kind of like Wasteland was in Modern Warfare 2. I mean, if you can get a chopper gunner in the air, you can really do a lot of devastating work. But at the same time, at least in for Domination, the design's a little strange because you'll notice where I am right now on the map. Not a whole lot of action is over here because the B flag is just on one side of the map. It's not kind of centered based on the map. So it's almost like how Subbase was in TDM in Modern Warfare 2, where people really didn't even play on one side of the map at all. It all focused in the center and the back area of it. So that kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about today, and that's um, level design. I guess, what are your opinions of the levels for Black Ops versus Modern Warfare 2 and other Call of Duty games, and what do you like about levels? For me personally, I tend to enjoy levels that are on a smaller scale, and that's because it fits more into the playstyle that I like, which is a lot of rushing. You just get a lot of action. So if you die, you're almost automatically right back in the action because of a smaller level, and I just prefer that. Like maps like Array and Wasteland and Derail, those larger maps, they're okay, but I just feel like you don't run into as much action as you would on smaller base maps. And generally, from a design standpoint, I actually prefer the maps of Black Ops over Modern Warfare 2, just because they're smaller and they don't have as many long lines of sights. It's a lot of more close quarters combat than you would in Modern Warfare 2. But like I said, I like the architectural design of these maps, but the aesthetics, not so much. I think Modern Warfare 2, the engine that they were using, you really get to see a lot more here. I don't know how in the world I missed that guy, but luckily he didn't see me, so I got lucky there. But anyways, the Modern Warfare 2, I just feel like the levels looked a lot better. They had a lot more dynamic colors, and it just popped out a lot more. I think the only level that actually looks different in this game is Nuketown. That's the only level that kind of pops. All the other levels in Black Ops, I feel like they kind of all share the same color scheme, and there's not a whole lot of variance in them. So they're not a whole lot to look at, but they are fun to play. I definitely enjoy playing on them a lot more. But what are the maps that you guys enjoy in this game, and do you think these maps are better designed than Modern Warfare 2? And what are the characteristics of a map that would make you not like it or veto it? I know some people hate Nuketown just because of its size. I know in Modern Warfare 2, I wasn't a big fan of Wasteland and Derail, and it's kind of interesting because Wasteland was a remake of a very popular map in, I think, Call of Duty 2, or maybe an earlier Call of Duty that used to be loved. So it's kind of strange that I think a lot of people really didn't like that map. Another map that I wasn't too crazy about in Modern Warfare 2 was Rundown, and that was I don't know, they had the three bridges that allowed you access to both halves of the map, and there was a lot of buildings and long lines of sights, so that was a really big camping map, and the B flag was really difficult to get, and typically the first team to get it normally would win that match. And another map that I was a big fan of in Call of Duty 4 was Shipment, and it's strange. I mean, that was a really simple map, and that seems to be one of the favorites of a lot of people that played the Call of Duty series in terms of the smallest map. Because I don't think a lot of people really liked Rust. I personally wasn't a huge fan of Rust in Modern Warfare 2, and it seems like there's mixed feelings towards Nuketown. Some people like it, some people hate it, but most people I talk to seem to have enjoyed Shipment. So it's strange because I think Shipment is probably the smallest map of all of the super small maps in the series, but it's received the least amount of hate. But let me know what you think in the comments. For this last part, I'll just talk about the gameplay. Since we 3-capped, I took advantage of the Black Ops spawn system. Seeing where my teammates are, I figured a majority of the time the enemy team's going to spawn at A, so I made it a point after the beginning to kind of just patrol A, knowing that they'll spawn back in those broken temples or in that village. and as you can see, it pays off. It's kind of one of the advantages of understanding the spawning in the Call of Duty series, because if otherwise I'd be running all over this map, and that would really suck to have to run from one side of the map to the other side of the map trying to figure out where the enemies are to get into the action. So it's when you play it long enough, you kind of realize where the enemy's going to spawn, and you know how to kind of stay in there, because they're not going to spawn around B just because that's the center flag when all three are capped. And since the majority of the team are kind of closer to C, then it's really going to push it towards A. So it pays off here. And I think in the beginning I was using the AK-47, which is an amazing gun at medium range, and with extended mags, it's an absolute beast. I have a little trouble with it shooting people from really long ranges, just because I typically lose them in the iron sights. But if you've never tried it before, I suggest giving it a try. But it looks like the video is wrapping up. If you're new to the Forum Boys YouTube channel, please feel free to subscribe, and also check us out at our website. I'll include a link in the description. Final score 54-2, 1 cap, 13 defense, and as always guys, take it easy.